So this is the next topic, Quality Management Awards and Framework, where we have the ISOs and the 6Sigma and the awards. The awards was instituted, but there's one by Deming, the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award, and the EFQM model, the Deming Prize, and among others. I'm not going to bore you down too much on this. The ISO is not International Organization of Standardization. Even though it's ISO, it doesn't mean International Standard Organization, but it's International Organization for Standardization. We have the ISO 9000 series of quality standard. That is an international set of standards for documenting all process that an organization uses to produce its service. The common cliche for ISO is that you preach what you do and you do what you preach, okay? So we have the 9000 series that normally talk about the basic, quality standards. So you are documenting all your processes. It's more of documentation. And we have the 9001, 2000, which talks about quality management system requirement. And then the 9004 that talks about quality management systems, guidance and performance improvements. And then we have the 9000 and then 2000, okay? That is quality systems, that's fundamental and standards. And these are all processes that you go to. I'm fortunate to have gone through the process with GPHA. We went through the process, the documentation, changing, starting from the sweeper to every aspect of the GPHA processes. And that's how come I had a better understanding in implementing system. For every automation to happen, it is the non-manual process that we are automating. So it's important that we understand how the processes, they work and they interlink with others. So that it's simple to understand it. So I can sit here and tell you what happens from the port when a vessel arrives till it is discharged. What happens with on the high seas when you're talking about intermodal transportation, when the rail network, what should happen, how these things work together to achieve the objective that a port intends, the various types of port models that are run. It's just because we went through the processes, and I can drive a tugboat, okay? Because we did all this with these people, and we understood the process from the process owner's views, and it was easy to do that. So if you find yourself in an organization, what you can do is all the things you do, even though the company has not done that, you can develop a manual for, your department by documenting all the processes, okay? And there's a way to do that. I'll share the paperless port project documentation with you, the other documentation that you can also leverage on it. So these are just notes that you need to read about ISO and all that. But where my interest is is the ISO 9000, 2000. That talks about quality management principles. And there's a question here, and I want us to discuss this. This is a general quality management principle that talks about 8 main things that one has to look at when you are implementing quality. And the first one is customer focus, okay? It only illustrates the fact that whatever we are doing should be driven by the customer. The customer focus is that the organization is customer-centric, okay? It's customer-centric. And what that means is that we take the customer's requirements, the customer's complaints, the customer's feedback as very critical, because that helps us to improve our system. And we do not develop processes in vacuum. we allow the customer's requirement to trigger what we do. So customer focus simply means that the organization exists to produce goods and services to satisfy customers. And that's the primary aim. We know that also, there are other, objectives that we have to meet, but the primary one, we exist because of the customers. And every ISO process, should focus on the customer and what the customer requirement is. If the customer is satisfied, then we know that we are in business. Then the second one is leadership. Now we are saying that leadership should have to be demonstrated from the top hierarchy to those at the down. And leadership meaning that the ISO process, the quality process, should be owned by leaders and it should be driven by leadership. We shouldn't allow other people to be going for training where we are seated somewhere. So when we're doing this ISO thing, we constituted a committee where we call the steering committee, where we have the heads of department representing the steering committee. And at that top level, we did, training for them, okay, for them to understand at the top level what we require. And then we have the operational guys in there who went on the field to look at the compliance, the conformance, non-conformance, and all that. So we did something we call the quality audits, where we selected different people from different departments who are auditing other departments. We were all trained as audit, quality audit, something. There's a name for it. And we did this training. I think I have, let me show you one of the, and I believe that some of you also have the same certification process. I remember when we did this, let me see if I will. I hope I find this. And we did a number of, training, went through this training program, and it was just amazing. And the reason why I want you to look at all these is that, as I told you, I don't like just talking in the air. Okay, so that's one of the, I've seen this, I'm happy I've seen this. That's one of the training programs, the SGSS. Have you seen this integrated management system where we did ISO 9001, 2050? Can you see the screen?
Yes, please.
Yes.
And then we did 14,001, 2015, the OSHA 18,001, 2007. Later we added information security, to it. And this training was done at Royal Fiesta Hotel. This was somewhere in 2016. We were just about to roll out the whole thing. Okay. So this what happened. That's what happened. So this, because I was also a head of department, apart from the fact that I was the project manager, I was also involved at this level to do this training. We were trained as also auditors. We went around and then, as it were, audited other departments and all that. So there should be this leadership drive of it at the top, and then leadership also at a certain level when power is delegated, and then even the process owners themselves. Here, when I talk about owners, I'm talking about those who are initiating the process where they sit. That we give them we delegate some sort of authority to them so that they can lead. So leadership should be, and all all-encompassing, activity that involves everyone. Then we have the people involvement. People involvement, that's involvement of people. Now, so we are talking about employees also being part of the process. We are talking about middle management and top management being part of the system. If we don't involve people, but we throw these instructions to them, it will not work. And people involvement also means that we accept the views of employees. We give suggestion boxes, we do some sort of workshop, and then we elicit the views from them, just to let them know that they are part of the process and they are part of the fellowship. They should have a sense of belongingness. They should see themselves as part of the process. So involvement of people is key. Most organizations, when they are implementing some of these things, they leave some key stuffs out with the perception that we don't want them to be part, as if that they are punishing them. But actually, they are punishing the organization, because if they have knowledge about the process, it's easy for all hands to be on deck. Then we have the process approach, where we are looking at taking, a kind of the mindset of Crosby into operation. And here I'm talking about making sure that the process that we are using to deliver the product or service to the customers, they are foolproof, and that even if we are aligning with Shewat, we are going through a process, a stage. We have a stage we say, okay, plan. We have a stage we say do. We have a stage we say study or check and then act. There should be this process stages in the delivery chain that tells us that from process 1 we move to process 2, and rather than a program approach. So the focus is the single minute process that churn out products, raw materials into what finish what goods. That is what the thing is. And when it is process, focus or process approach, it is easy to do continuous improvement, because continuous improvement cannot be on a program. It should be on this minute process that transform the raw materials into finished goods. So the fourth principle is process approach. And then the fifth one is system approach for management. So management should see the whole process of delivering the product, the activities involved, as a system. And a system has so many components that work together in unison to achieve a certain objective. So if we see the whole activity in the organization as the system, then what we can do is that we put measures in place and we make sure that the interrelation, interconnectivity, interdependency are clearly spelled out, so that department will not see themselves as exclusive from other departments, that we are doing our own thing, but there is a connection from one department to the other. One department's activity fits into the other, and the other also fits into the other department. So there's a kind of a system approach. There's a theory called the system theory. When you study about it, to tell you that all the activities that work within our organization work within a system, and we need to make sure that the system works in unison. So if anyone wants to take him or herself out, that is really going to help affect the whole process flow of the system. So we say it is what? A system approach. And then the sixth principle say continual improvement. Now they say, they don't say continuous improvement, they say continual improvement. These guys, when they sleep and they wake up, the bad side or good side, they come up with something different. It used to be continuous, continual improvement. And here we are talking about Kaizen, where improvement is seen not as just a process, but a journey of no return, a journey that we're embarking on, and that we don't get to the destination, but we are on a journey to an unknown destination. We know the destination is to improve the system, but we never finish improving the system. We never get completed when we are improving the system. We do the improvement as an every day, and as and when we see that there are limitations with the system. And we are not improving because we want to reach at a certain target. but it's become part of our DNA, and that's what we do every day. So continual improvement is a journey of no return. We are just doing that continuously every day, because at each point in time, we find out that, am I a better person? And let me give you a typical example. Have you heard the adage that jack of all trades, master of none? Have you heard it before?
Yeah, Doc.
Yes.
What is the ideology? What was the thinking behind that? The jack of all trades. What is the thinking around that? Yeah. Yes. What is the thinking?
I think it is for a person to be, focused on a particular skill and then master that, rather than being everywhere, trying to learn everything at the same time.
What is your opinion on that, class rep?
I think it has outlived it. It's the saying has outlived it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Division of labor specialization. Okay. Who else? But Tawfik, what's your position on that?
Yeah, because in this current world, dealing with people now, especially people within some part of the world, like India, you can have people who are masters of 2-3 skills just because of the situation they find themselves in. And so they're able to do everything at every time and do it very well.
Okay. Who else?
I'd like to weigh.
Dallas.
Yes, sir. So
your name is sweet, Keke.
It's actually Dillis.
That is Dillis.
Yes, sir.
Dillis.
Yes, sir.
Dillis Dakora.
Yeah.
Are you a Ghanaian?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Go ahead.
Okay. So I wanted to say that the meaning of the first half, that's actually not the full quote. The meaning of the first half is someone who can do many different things, but is not particularly good at any of them. But that definition or that meaning was used in a negative light. But then if you look at the full phrase, it says, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. So that's where the division of labor or training people in multiple areas come in. So then you can have one person that's skilled in doing so many different things. And then having that person on your team is usually better because you can run a lean team if you have people who can perform multiple roles, rather than just having one person who can do just one thing. So that means that you have to pay individual people to perform different roles that one person could probably do and do well. So that's my take on that.
Charlie, your take be too good. You do all, eh? I beg, Tawfik, you write the name.
It's already my party, so I've written the name in capital.
Okay, who else?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So I agree with what Dillis just shared. I think 2020 made people realize that it's good to diversify. It's good to know how to do a lot of things, because if where one door shuts, it means you'll be able to use your other skills to help you. So I think as an individual, it's good to have a lot of skills. It's good to have knowledge on a lot of things because it will help you in the long term. That's what I think, sir.
Doc, another thought. Isaac, okay. Alan, Doc. So I think it's also got to do per the contribution of Tawfik and Dillis. That is when these people have achieved mastery. There are also
repeat that statement. They have achieved what?
Mastery.
Okay.
Or like the specialist states. There are also a group of people, probably they are doing accounting. They haven't achieved that level of mastery. They are probably at the intermediate state. The same people are doing supply chain. The same people are doing electrical works. So they are they are not a master of any. So the other school of thought will say, rather concentrate on one and achieve mastery.
So the whole thing is about achieving mastery. So yes, when you achieve mastery, level, you can move.
You can learn something else, but they are just in the middle. You don't know what they are good at. You don't know especially what they are doing, and you are always also doing everything without achieving mastery of any.
Charlie, that is also another good point. I just want to juxtapose that with what Dilly said. Okay, that's a very good point for arguing, and I'll give you a position on that. Go ahead. Who else?
Sir Isaac.
Yeah, Isaac.
So it depends on the level.
Isaac, do you know that okay, you guys do not know. My brother called Isaac Boison. I think that if he was alive, he should have been a professor by now. Because at the time that I was doing business, he had already 2 degrees and was getting masters. I died inadvertently. Okay. So when I hear the name Isaac, in fact, the difference in age is just 1 month. My father gave birth to us. We were 17, 6 wives, and between myself and him was just 1 month. He was somewhere December 26th or 7th or so, and I was 10th November. So we were just like twins. If you look at them, we look alike. So that name Isaac resonates very well. Anyway, go ahead. So maybe when I'm marking my script, your script, and I see the name, you may be considered.
Thank you.
I'm also Isaac.
But so the same. Sorry for your loss and this memory.
Yes. So my point is the level at which you are will determine that statement of master of many. But then if on a lower side, on a lower ground, like me, I started with mechanical engineering, and then for years I practiced, and then I saw to add IT, so I did computer science in addition, so that with automation I can complement the IT with the mechanical.
Okay.
So yes, and then on another level where I need to get more management too, because it depends on the level you are moving in your career. Then you need to bring in more. As a head of department, you can not just be people bring things that you don't understand. So you'll be able to get your hand on deck on any issue that comes at that level. Thank you.
Anyway, that's a very good point.
Doc, I want to weigh in.
I want to say something. For my opinion, what I say is like jack of all trades. It's like you know so many things, but like you are not achieving anything. Like what you are doing, maybe you are not doing
I like that.
well.
You know so many things, but you're not achieving anything.
Yeah.
This one is huge. Yes. Yeah.
You are not achieving something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can see it in the workplace.
You know so many things. Yeah, let me put it on my status. You know so many things, but you are not achieving. Hey. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, like in my workplace, you can see people in the department. They can be doing different type of job, but like in their own area, you can see they are not achieving anything at all. I mean, you cannot see any result from what their own end, their own department. I think something like that.
So that's how you understand the jack of all trades. So it's set to, I'm putting your name there.
Doug,
okay. Yeah.
Just a quick one. I think this might go to most of our politicians. You know, there are so many things, but you're not achieving. But on the other side, I have this woman that she's into construction, architecture, and so on and so forth. She brought in these 2 Indian guys. All they just have to do is after our masonry works, after every work being done, they are just to come and look at the overall and then check defects and then correct them. They're just two. But when it comes to painting, it comes to almost everything within the building, they're just masters of it. They'll just kill it and make it to the best. So basically, that is where that is why I'm aligned to those people in terms of learning so many things and being masters of them. Thank you.
Okay.
Look, I want to add a bit to it.
Please do.
I think that I would want to say that you have to, as an individual, you have to identify your circle of competence. Like
You have to
how people said,
identify your circle
of competence. Yes, wherever, like whether you are a beginner or a master or wherever you are, so that you know where you are good at. So if it is how familiar you are with whatever you are doing. So no matter the size of your circle, then you develop on it. So you don't jump from, say, today everybody is doing this, so you want to jump on the trend. Today everybody is doing this, so you want to jump on the trend. If you are a mechanical engineer, but then you are good with IT stuff, and that is something you want to delve into, then you add on to it. So that like it's something like an added on knowledge. It doesn't mean that you are totally abandoning what you already know, just that you are building on knowledge so that you look like you are expanding your level of competence. That's what I want to add on to it.
Charlie, you put a true bomb for here. Some serious views that you are sharing. I'm just typing giddy, 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 giddy. I think that confidence in the judgment of the master of one is higher than that of a jack of all trades. Wow. That is Jacob. So I think that the confidence in one judgment of a master of one is higher than the jack of all trades. Anyway. So let me finish the rest, and then tell you my position on jack of all trades, because I brought this thing. So I've on my status, I've put Aisha too, and then that of Eunice. That as an individual, you need to identify your circle of competence. That's another big one. People have very big, words or big statements. So let's look at the factual approach to decision making. Now, so decision making should be based on facts. When I say fact, we are talking about empirical evidence, evidential, facts based on research, based on a certain method used to achieve that. We live in a society where managers listen to other subordinates and they take decisions. You say, oh, this lady Eunice, this lady has been, running you down when she goes to meetings, the way she speaks, as if that there's no boss and blah, blah, blah. And the boss says, is it true? He said, yes. Then now begin to take some sort of action against Eunice, just like that. If you're a manager like this and you're on this platform and you take decision based on, well, you see, sometimes when someone is reporting the other person, you just weigh the competence of whoever is reporting. That's the way I deal with things. I weigh, who is the one speaking? And if you allow yourself for that person to influence your decision and you take that decision, then I don't think that you are fit to become a manager. And I believe that you have taken such decisions before and you have even regretted. So the question is, who is even asking me to do that? So those times you have some of the staff who, and a typical example, one of the guys, whilst I was in South Africa, called me. What is it? It says, the guy at Temaport, we bought some laptops and not knowing he has negotiated with the man and they've put some money on it. And then I'm saying that, but why are you telling me? He said, no, the first one, when we got the money, we shared. He didn't give my share. Now I said, so that is why you're reporting the guy. He said yes. And will you be available to when I come to the office so that we talk about it? He said yes. So unknowing to him, I've arranged for the other guy to come. So when he came to the office while we were speaking, the other guy came. Then the guy sat close to him and I said that, Charlie, can you repeat what you said? He said, oh, sir. I said, okay, anyway, you know, I have a recorder here. So do you want me to play the recorder or you want to speak? Then now he was forced to tell us. And after then, I mean, when he was done with whatever he said, then I asked him a question. Why have you agreed with someone to do something? I'm not interested whether good or bad. But why are you betraying the guy? And he was just looking at me. Why are you betraying the guy? And I told him that, see, I'm not interested in whatever happened, but the fact that you are in for something and then you decide to betray the guy. I mean, you could have sat with him and sorted this thing out, but why are you telling me so that I do what? And forgetting that when there's any investigation, you're also going home, because what you guys have done is tantamount to dismissal. It's straight dismissal. There's no, because what you're doing is fraud, okay? It's serious dismissal. So then I'll ask them to leave. They left. Up until now, I didn't call the other guy to ask him any question. My focus was on the fact that the guy was, whether they shared the money or not, I was not interested. Why am I saying that? I wanted the fact. And then when I got the fact, I realized that if I'm to act, I would have to suspend the two guys. But the issue here was not more about what has happened, because I wouldn't have known anyway. It was the fact that there has been a betrayal. Maybe they shared money, the other guy didn't give what he was supposed to give. And for that reason, that guy decided to report him. But that issue could have been resolved without getting to me. And my point is that when you are in any deal, whether good or bad, make sure you are faithful to that deal. That is my principle. You get it? Be faithful. So I have to dismiss them. My point is that we have taken so many decisions based on hearsay, and that is the order of the day in government institutions. Even when there's a problem and we have to use a scientific means to diagnose the thing, we are not interested. And somebody will come and said, but, you know, I think that we are not interested in what you are thinking. In fact, what you are thinking doesn't make sense to anyone. You should tell us that data, available data shows. Yeah, no, empirical evidence show, not what you are thinking. We don't know what you were doing when, I mean, that thought came to your mind. But the fact that you thought about something we have not tested, we should implement. And that is why most organizations find themselves in shambles, because you have managers who are there and they get their thought based on inspiration. Sometimes they say they are going to Jericho hour, they come, they had some new thought in. Charlie, we don't manage business by Jericho hour. It's not about that. It's a scientific means. You understand? It's driven by data. And that's what, I mean, we use in managing business. If those who are religious in the Bible at the point in time, they will have to do census, it should tell you that when they were counting human beings and they were looking out for a way to even get the child which was born, which was Jesus Christ or whatever, that census that was taken should tell you that even at that day, those days, if you're a Bible believer, then it means that they were using these, what were they using census for? We needed to know the number of people in that environment so that when they are planning, they know what to do. So every decision we take should be backed with what? Fact. And that's why we are saying that ISO implementation, the 7 principles, a factual approach to decision making. Okay. The decision making is based on fact. And once it's based on fact, it's only when the data fails or the data, the fact that we have is not authentic, that will lead to the other, side of what maybe lead to, a wrong decision that we have taken. Okay, so we should get this very clear. If you're a manager and you are here and what you do is you are picking up on your subordinate based on what somebody has told you, that guy who's talking to you is an idiot. Okay, and he is influencing you to take a decision. Okay, he is influencing you to take a decision. And the problem actually is not the person who is influencing you. The problem is for you allowing yourself, okay, to be used for that. Did you see that video? There was one great video. I don't know whether you've seen it about, it said a donkey, let me see if I can find it. When I find it, I'll look at my gallery and I'll play it to you. And it's just a funny video. Okay, I believe that most of you have seen it. Okay, so we should base our decisions on fact rather than, using hearsay and guesses and all that, because that's actually not going to help us. Then the last one is mutually beneficial supplier relationship. Let me throw this to you. How do you think that supplier relationship is very important? Why do you think it's very important and that we should have a mutual relationship with the suppliers? Hello.
I think, hello.
Yeah.
Okay. It's important because from there we can build trust and loyalty. That's
okay, we can build trust and loyalty.
Trust.
Who else?
Yeah.
So I think the customers are the reason for our existence. So it's incumbent on us to have a solid relationship with them.
So we are talking about suppliers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, they are the reason for our existence. So
no, the suppliers are not the reason. The customers are rather the reason.
Oh, you mean the supplier? Okay, some deal with those suppliers and customers
at the same time. Okay, that's fine.
Yes. All right, thanks. Doug. Hello, Doug.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I think when you build a good relationship with your suppliers, it's help or it enables in smooth operations of your business. Based on what Aisha too said, loyalty. I mean, if you have loyal suppliers, even when you don't have cash, they will supply you what you want, and then it's will enable your operation to be smooth and efficient. And not only even with cash, I mean, they'll give you the right material that you want.
Yes, next.
So I also believe that when you have good relationship with your suppliers, like what he just said, when you don't have the cash, they will supply it to you. And when even maybe there's shortage and they have maybe few supply, like since you have good relationship with them, they may even opt out and give it to you instead of giving it to others. So it helps your business run smoothly as well.
More point, we are answering the question.
So I also think that keeping a good relationship with your supplier is very important because they are the source of you to satisfy your customer. So in keeping good time with them, they'll supply your product at the right time so that you can easily satisfy your customer.
Doug,
Yeah.
I think it is healthier, and then it creates like value for both of you, both the supplier and then you. And again, there's flexibility in terms of how you deal with the person, since there's a relationship. And you're always, but you're always part of the priorities of the supplier. So basically, that is what the mutual, beneficial relationship in your part.
Hello, sir.
Okay.
Supplier two with the company are interdependent on each other. So we need to create that value because of that value in between. So we need to take, that is my stake on, they are interdependent on each other.
Okay.
So can I talk about it may help maximize profit in that, as my colleague said, when the relation is good, they tend to supply your needs, even at a point that you may not be having the finance to purchase all goods within the particular time, making part payment in a race. So that can help you to maximize your profit at a particular time. That's my take.
Okay. Who else?
So, and always, when you maintain good relationship with your suppliers, it helps with, or it can give you cost reduction in most of the things. As in some like the delivery or something like that. So you have costing reductions when you build trust with your suppliers.
Okay.
So I want to ask a question related to this question. I was just thinking back at one of the question about just in time. So I was thinking whether it might have some connection with supplier relationship, like when you build a good relationship with your supplier, they can able to supply you as and when anytime you need, or that they might know your status. Or I was just thinking, I don't know.
No, it's a good thinking.
Whether it's related. Oh.
No, it's a good thinking. There's nothing wrong with it.
Doc,
Yes.
suppliers, I think suppliers are key partners in ensuring a very effective and efficient supply chain. And I mean, once you have a healthy relationship with them, you get more value as a company, and stronger the relationship, the more priority suppliers give you. My thoughts, please.
Okay. Are we done? Are we done?
Yes, sir.
Doc.
Yeah, I want you to listen to this. I was trying to share. I want to share the audio so that if you can hear the sound. Can you hear? Things that I need to hear in the moment. Came across today is a perfect example, and I thought I might share it with you. Can you hear?
Yes,
It's
yes, but it's
faint at my
low.
end.
We can't really
It's
hear.
faint at my
They're
end,
very
sir.
faint. If you could increase it.
It's faint.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just a minute. How well can I?
They approached the lion. Here in the moment. This story I came across today is a perfect one. I thought I might share it with you. You too may need to hear this today. Here's the story. The donkey told the tiger, the grass is blue.
Okay, so this is a story about the donkey and the tiger, right? I think that you guys have heard it. And the donkey told the tiger that the grass is blue. And the tiger says that, but the grass is green. So a serious argument ensued between them, and then it became necessary to meet the lion, who was then the king. And then the donkey approached the lion and said that, "Lion, don't you see that the grass is blue?" And the lion says that if you say it is blue, then it is blue. Then the donkey told the lion that if that is the case, then you have to punish the tiger because he says the grass is green. And then the lion punished the tiger. And then the tiger came back to ask the lion that, but you know that the grass is green. So why then do you punish me? And listen to what the lion said. I want to capture.
That has nothing to do with the question of whether the grass.
Now, the lion told the tiger that I punish you and it has nothing to do with the question. But what it has to do is this. It said that it is degrading for a brave and intelligent animal like you to be arguing with a donkey. Did you hear that?
Yes, please.
It's degrading for a very intelligent and strong animal like you to be arguing with a donkey, an ass. You get it? So it comes back to the issue of that I wanted to raise of you allowing, not taking decisions based on what fact, but allowing people to influence your decision. In fact, you can tell me anything about anybody that this guy, oh, it's not good. I don't think that I should listen to your opinion. I want to be responsible for my actions and inactions. So I want to know who that person is. It turns out that people that they have, I mean, treated as very wicked and very, and they turn out to be very excellent people. Okay, when you meet them. So as managers, this is very important. Most managers fail because of listening to people, and most of the people who talk to you about others, I mean, to a large extent, the majority of these things are not true. Majority of them is just hatred for them and all that. It's good to get the information, but it's good to also find out that what they are saying is true or not. And it turns out that most times, with my experience, they are not true. Because if they are true, they should be able to face the guys and tell them what they are doing is wrong. They don't need you. Yeah, and that is very important. And I know in government institutions we've done, I think that the confidence in judgment of mastery, okay, I've seen this. So let's come back to the issue of, but before that, let me turn to this. This is another promising question. And all the questions I've showed you, you'll see them in character, in shape, and in attitude. I hope you understand those three things. In other words, I'm not going to do anything to the question. That is what is going to happen, right? ISO 9000, 2000 quality management principle is one of the ways to ensure sustainable implementation of TQM. Using an organization of your choice, demonstrate how 5 out of these 8 principles can assist organization achieve competitive advantage. Give a background of the organization, the mission, vision, their services. Take the 5 out of what these 8 principles. Anyone you want to, I would advise you that because they look at more, it's like it's numbered, okay? Because you cannot start with leadership without customer focus. So you can decide to pick the first 5 and then work on. If you are, I mean, you are at liberty to pick 1, 3, something, and then explain in that order, and then you conclude. Okay, you conclude very well with a very good, I mean, position that you would have taken. And conclusion is just reflecting on what you have done. I did something for Kujo Jansen. Kujo Jansen, how long did it take me to write the abstract for you? How long did it take?
But I think it's less than 10 minutes. I mean, within some few minutes.
You were shocked, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I wrote an abstract for him because he needed to. He wanted to attend a conference somewhere, so I needed to help him with the abstract. But I looked at the proposal and I wrote it. And these things come as a result of what? Mastery, as you guys put it. Because you've been doing it over and over again. You just look at the key and then you're able to put something together. And then I know writing is difficult, but if it becomes part of you, it will help. So in concluding the whole statement, you can reflect on the key issues that in this discussion we focus on customer. We discuss the fact customer focus, look at the involvement of people, system approach, and all that. Okay, and the writer or the of the view that these principles, when effectively implemented, can help the organization achieve competitive advantage. However, a careful look at these strategies in a very detailed manner is required, and it's important to know that this is not foolproof. You just say something to take a position that you are not just giving 100% solution to solve the problem, but they should do a little bit more to ensure that they are able to achieve the success. The question assumes that when you implement these things, you can achieve success, but that is not the intent. Okay, so that could be done. So I don't know whether you have any question on this. I wanted to show you this, right? This is also one question that will drop. So I think I gave you one yesterday. Is it 2 or 1? Was it 2 or 1? 2 questions or 1 yesterday? Yeah, so now we have 4 questions. So in all, we are going to have how many? Going to have 8 questions, 4 for the time constraints, and then the 4 for the take home. Those ones we have to demonstrate, and then like this one, okay? I'm asking you to, this one says demonstrate, okay? So this one is likely to be the individual assignment. And this one is likely to be the written one. Show how just in time, this one could be discussed, easily. And there's also another one. Did I put that one here? I have not. Oh, I did. Oh. Yeah. So there's another one. Can someone read this for us? This one is time constraints.
I'm reading. TQM has been defined in various ways, and studies have shown that customers perceive quality-based value.
Quality based on value. Based on value.
Quality
forgive me.
based.
I'm just writing the questions as we are lecturing, so forgive me. Based on value, yeah.
Given this perspective, discuss the quality perspective held by the quality gurus, that is Crosby, Deming, and Joan, in the areas of 1, definition of quality, 2, general approach, 3, improvement basis, 4, quality, cost of quality, and 5, vendor rating.
So you guys remember the table that we use to differentiate between these guys. Let me take you back so it doesn't appear that you're seeing stars. We talked about so here, right? You remember these slides?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember? I want to hear the yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you reach questions are then you people go dodge. Okay, so you remember this? That's all I'm saying. I've taken the variables here. Let me do that. I've taken the variables here, these variables, okay? You see cost of quality here, improvement basis. There's Cosby, this is Jermaine Duran, and I want this perspective is what we are talking about. Do you get it?
Yes, sir.
These are the perspectives we are talking about, right? And then more importantly, you have all of them. You see Deming 14 points is here. You have that of what? Crosby, Joseph Duran. You have that of what? Fegenboam, and then Crosby, Taguchi. They are all here. Do you get it? You have all their positions that they've held here. So you shouldn't have any problem going into details to know what they wanted to do. So we are saying that share the perspective they have. If I were you, I'll still draw a table, right? Just as the table has been given, I'll do the same thing. Okay, then I'm good to go. I'll do the same thing so that I don't, because if I don't do that, I'll be writing paragraphs, and all that. I want to avoid that. So that is what I'm going to do. So that is it. And this will be one of the questions that you should see. And when I finish, I mean, I'll bring the other, I'll do the other. So we have how many questions now? Is it 4? 4 or 5? That's 5.
4, sir.
3. Today we have 3 questions, right? 1, 2, and 3. Is that correct?
Correct, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Then we have 2. We had 2 yesterday. So we have 5.
Yes, please.
I'll add 3 of the questions, right? And then submit, because I want you to write those exams as soon as possible.
Okay,
and
sir.
immediately we finish, then so I'll send it to Coventry this week for validation, and then they'll bring it back so that we can, if they delay, I'll have a section with you to refresh your mind before you write your exams. I think I did it for the lean people. I made them twice or so, and then they were able to write, and they have a smooth sail. I mean, true. Do we have any students here from Takrady or Kumasi?
Yes, sir. We are here, Takrady.
Kumasi, we are here.
So the
Yes.
Takrady guys and Kumasi guys will be writing online. I'm sure. And it's going to happen the way it. Okay, Takrady was face to face. But face to face, all my questions and my exam henceforth is open book. Take everything to the room, right? And then write.
Yes,
okay.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, is it only for Takrady and Kumasi? I can't
No, Kumasi, they'll be doing online. They'll be doing online. I don't know why they do not write face to face. But I mean, there's no, I see those, so this is what I'm going to do. Who are writing online rather are going to be giving, let's say, last we gave them three hours, 30 minutes, right? And later, maybe added extra 30 minutes because they have to write and then go to Turnitin and then see whether it's correct or not. And that's very frustrating, okay? Because sometimes they put the thing in and the similarity score is 5. By the time they blink their eye, it's in 10 to 20 or 30. Some people reach 50. So when they finish, some people had challenges and we had to ensure that was solved.
That is the challenge we have because anything you send the thing in and then it will tell you the lower score. So 15 minutes later, then the score goes.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir.
If me they lament to like a student, if me now they lament. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. But that's okay.
Yes, please.
So I know that you lament, but I have taken the position of the student. So that is why I gave extra 30 minutes for those who could not submit or had issues. Even those after submission, I mean, there are people who had issues. They went there and they saw high similarity score. They took a snapshot of the first one and later saw that this had gone high. I allowed them to rework and submit. See, this thing is not like, I mean, do or die like some war, Gulf War B. You understand? People take them too serious as if the world is coming to an end when we're writing the exams. You guys should relax, okay? It's not like that, bruh. You guys should relax.
Doc,
yes.
Can't we do something about this? Because I think not every lecturer will be as understanding as you. What if some lecturers will not be
when you submit your Turnitin, Eunice, take a snapshot. That's what I tell you, right? If you are really being honest with what you are doing, take a snapshot. They give you you take the snapshot. So when you are there and the thing goes out, you just send it to. So for me, if I'm marking the script, like 6Sigma, I have to submit. Those who did this have to submit by 31st. Hey, I'm marking, I'm seeing some of the similarity scores, he reached 70. I realized that they submitted that paper twice. So it's picking it from its own source, okay? So why would you just go and then, so for me, what I did was I marked it and I put a comment on it that this is what happened, okay? I'm not in the history. You see, when a student is failing, for me, it pains me because I've been a student before. So I just want to see why, I mean, if there's a justification for the failure. In most cases, it might be our internal processes, but that probably might have led to that. And it is not fair to, I mean, fail the student when the problem is coming from your end. You get what I'm saying? So that's the whole thing. So you guys should just relax. And I told you, if a lecturer is creating a problem for you, you also don't allow that to happen. Respectfully, use a very good approach to address the lecture. This is another process flow. For those of you who are on this, my Australia deal, you see, I use this to create a process flow, right? This is another example of it. And this is Microsoft Visio. Those who do not know how it is used, okay? It's the use of what? Stencils. So I can put a process there, put a decision, connect it, connect the process, and name it. You got it. I'm good to go. This is how it works. So you can use it to do so many things. right? We have used it to do, and they all have meanings. You have a lot of these business process. The guy who said that he was using it for electrical something, I can show you. When you go to new, the electrical circuit one is somewhere here. This is one, brainstorming, electrical diagram. This is it. Okay, this is what the guy used. So you see it comes with its own stencils. Okay, these are the electrical stencils. You can just use them. This accumulator, this generic component, antenna, chassis, crystal, ground, DC source. And this was what the guy used. And he was able to do something marvelous. So, I mean, if you go online, YouTube, you learn how to use some of these things, and it's just amazing. Okay, it's just amazing. So that's just about it. Now, let's talk about this type of portrait master of none. And I said that I was going to also show you some things. This is strategic management. My assignment that I did. I was going to show you how. I don't know whether it's still here. Okay, I'm glad I have this. Just to prove to you that I've been a student here before. So I think I'm happy to tell you that I was a student. So have you, this was my index number, right? Are you saying it?
Yes, Doc.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So it's, and the guy is what? Dr. Basamwa, right? Okay, and this time, our time now, the stringent, see, penalties, marks will be reduced by 10 of the original marks every week late. No work will be accepted. That is more than 2 weeks late. Charlie, if you're unable to blah, 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 there's a whole lot of, and this February 2012, okay, when we're doing, I was doing my second master's, and this one was what, I think MIS. So this was the question. So this was what I did to answer. Watch something. I don't know. I think those times I was too crazy anyway. I think that I'm not as sharp as now. Now, I gave, this is how I introduced, I say answering approach. I don't know how these thoughts came to mind. So I was answering the question. I was telling the lecturer how I was going to answer the question. As a question one will be answered using Michael Porter's competitive analysis tool. We will discuss probing answers to 3 questions, which will set the center stage to discuss various competitive analysis tools like SWOT, and then tools, matrix, and Porter's 5. Finally, we will look at Porter's competitive strategies as well as operative strategies to assess the competitive strengths and weakness of the matrix company. Question 2 will be tackled by, first of all, identify the existing strategies being rolled out by matrix. After that, the various approach to corporate strategy will be discussed extensively, indicating the strengths and weaknesses. Question 3 will adapt Boston Consulting Group matrix something screen as tools in conducting the portfolio analysis, strengths and weaknesses. So I did all this and see, and this is the content. I think this was scared the man, okay? And then I came to question 1, and I gave an overview. You see, I like using diagrams. Have you seen it? See this
Yes,
question.
sir. Yes, sir.
Have you seen it? I drew these things myself. Okay. Portfolio analysis, competitive edge, diversification, blah, blah, blah. Then I say what next? What next is the answer that I'm going to give. Okay. Then possible causes of matrix problem, another one, and economic attribution of the industry. I gave my rating, market size, market growth, capital requirement industry. Then I gave my remarks. Attractive, fairly. I made some wild assumptions, okay? And all that, drivers, forces for change and impact analysis. I also did technological changing and the implication of the drivers change in the industry, okay? Then I gave my stance on it. What competitive forces are at work in the industry and how strong they are. All right? So competitive forces, this is Porter's 5. So I was using these things, I mean, anyhow, giving them ratings, the rivalry, competitive edge, and all that, okay? So then this also, the quadrant. I also like using, you know, the 4x4 quadrant, 2x2, 3x3 quadrant. Those times, I mean, we're using it like something, okay? So numerous environmental opportunities, the critical internal weakness. This is SWOT analysis. And then there was the ANSOF marketing matrix. This guy talks about market development, and then Michael Porter talks more about that of pricing strategy. So all that was done. I came here talk about tools, the implication of the tools analysis, quadrant A, quadrant B, and all that. So we did all this. But I think at that time I was more of a crazy guy. And now maybe I've slowed down now. And sometimes when I read these things, I mean, look at diagram. I mean, I was just imagining, I mean, what was going through my head at that time, okay? Writing all these things, okay? The power of imagination at that time was just amazing. This is just a question. So the man told me that this is not war. You see what I've done here? I go and take something, put I mean, diagram, and I give it figure 2.2, portfolio analysis, probing questions. Okay. All right. I was just drawing. These are all tools in Word. Okay. Then see this, directional strategy analysis, directional growth, stability, retrenchment. And I was rating them. I had created the assumptions and then question 3 overview. Every question had a diagram in there. Have you seen it? Every question had a diagram. You remember this one? This this also ANSOF matrix, market growth, most times used by the Boison consultancy group. Okay. And analysis matrix companies, business, the dog, the cow, and all that. So just to let you know that, I mean, I've sat where you sit before, but during our time, Charlie, what we're doing was just crazy. And I think you guys can do the same thing, right? I think you guys can do the same thing. But I'll share this with Patrick to also share it with you. So now we're talking about master of trade. Do you have any comment to make so that I can conclude with this master of trade and master of what? Master of what? And master, jack of all trade and master of none. Yeah. Any comment?
Doc, please a quick one. The ISO digits, do they have any significant meaning, or they are just numbers?
Oh, they do. They do. The digits, they do. So when you read, they are series. They are in groups. There's 9,000 series, then 9,001 series. Okay. And then the 9,000 series have different strands. Okay. The 9,001 also have different strands. You have the 14,000. You have even 20,000. We have 27,000 information security. I mean, the group also is there. And several groups. So they all have meaning. The basic one is the 9001, 2008, and now 2015 that talks about quality. That's basic documentation. Okay. Document what you say you do and do what you have documented. That's basically about that. Any more questions? Any more questions? Hello?
No, sir.
Okay,
Okay,
so
yeah.